Please welcome Mr. Dennis Haney.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and guests. To challenge oneself. How interesting. I'm going to talk to you today about a procedure. It's a very delicate and sensitive procedure. It's not a colonoscopy. We talked about that. We talked about that several weeks ago.
Yes.
It's something I consider much more delicate and much more sensitive. Because of that, it's going to remain unnamed throughout the course of my talk. Why? The reason is twofold. Number one, there might be some sensitivity amongst those more religious in nature. The second reason is there will be a number of people in this room that will undoubtedly feel you should not discuss such a topic in mixed company. To those people I say, so be it. I have undergone and had this procedure, and I consider it my duty to make sure that every man in this room, should they ever decide to do this, understand fully what they are in for and what they will go through. Ladies, feel free to listen in, but men, this is for you. When one decides to contemplate this, they do a little research. And of course, you research the brochures, what the doctor tells you. Nobody cares about that that's going to do this. They want to talk to the real resource, somebody that's had it done. For me, that was my brother-in-law, Billy McCauley. He had it done 2 years prior to the time I was considering it. And I said, Billy, I called him up, you need to tell me anything and everything, right, wrong, good, bad, indifferent. I need to know the straight scoop. Billy, in a nutshell, no pun intended, this is what he said. Dennis, he said, first of all, you got to understand, they do not knock you out for this procedure. They actually administer a local anesthetic. You're going to ask me where they administer it, aren't you? They give you a shot. Do I need to tell you where they're going to give you a shot, Dennis? No. Fine, they do that, but let me tell you, when they do it, it's that quick, and all of a sudden there's no pain. And from that point forward, as far as I was concerned, it actually caused no further problem at all. My nightmare didn't begin until the next morning. You see, the doctor had given me some pain pills, and unbeknownst to me, something caused a minor infection. But the next morning I woke up, Dennis, to this day, I still remember it, I swear. They were the size of footballs. Footballs? I swear they were huge. They were absolutely huge, and I was so frightened. I called the doctor and I told him, I said, I've got this problem. He said, it's an infection. I'll prescribe you some antibiotics, send your wife to get it. He says, but doc, I'm in such pain. I'm in such pain. Did you take the pain pills I gave you? No. Billy, take the pain pills. He did. A few days later, everything was fine. And he challenged me. He said, Dennis, only a wuss wouldn't do this if it's something you really think you need to do. That's right. I couldn't be a wuss. So I went in, signed up, planned on doing it, was laying there on the table when the doctor comes in. And the doctor says to me, Mr. Haney, hello, this is Dr. blah, blah, blah. Today it's going to take approximately 10 to 15 minutes. What's going to occur is I'm going to give you a little stick. We'll talk about that little stick later. I'm going to give you a little stick, and then you won't be able to feel a thing, and we'll be done in 10 to 15 minutes. You'll go home, take 3 days to recuperate, and you should be good as new after that time. He said a little stick. Now, he knows where he's going to stick me. I know where he's going to stick me. We both know he's going to say a little stick, and all I can do is sit there and think to myself, please don't let it hurt, 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 a little stick! It was like that. It was like that, and there was no pain. And I thought to myself, you know, he started to work, and I thought, maybe this will be okay. Maybe I can get through this. What a stupid thought that was. Something occurred to me that no man ever wants to go through. 3 things. They occurred simultaneously. I'll share them with you individually. The first thing was the doctor's working along, and all of a sudden I see his eyes. Now, he's under the mask, right? I see his eyes do this. Second, I saw on the front of his white surgical gown a splatter of blood go right across here. And it had that sound. I rightfully assumed that was my blood. The third thing that he did when this occurred, and I'm going to put them all together, it was like, Oops! What the heck does oops mean? What did he do? I swear, if at that moment he would have reached down to the floor like he was going to pick up something, I'd have died of a heart attack right there on the spot. Before I could say anything, the doctor said, which doctors are famous for, look, there's been a minor setback here. Don't you worry about a thing. Don't you worry about a thing. Although he was working much more quickly and much more frantically. And quite honestly, that's the last of my negative experience. I went through the 3 days. I utilized ice packs to prevent a case of footballitis on my own. And as a result, things worked as good, if not better than they always did. So, I will tell you, men in this room, if you decide to do this, you will hear a number of stories from people. But today, you have heard 2 true stories. My advice to you, if you contemplate doing this, if you can envision in your mind the possibility of footballs and oops, then you'll be ready for anything. My final advice is, don't worry about a thing.